Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Belicio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Belicio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Belicio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at beliciofoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is Monday, and our good friend Pete Wilson is joining us in the house today, and we'll be doing the morning news update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. And if you're looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, please give Nia a call, 740-418-4135, and she'll be out working hard for you. And our good friend Jeremiah is in the house on the other side of the camera, pushing all the buttons because our sweet James is still on a little bit of a vacay, but he will be back tomorrow.
That is exactly right. I'm glad Jeremiah is here. He actually helped cover some of the things, most recent things that we had. And
Yes.
Can also
He can
also
give us his 2 cents.
Also push the right buttons over there.
That's right.
So I feel like we're ready to roll here with lots of news.
Yes.
Good and bad, as always.
Oh, well, of course. But so you survived your first football game.
Yes, the high school football season started, and since that's a big deal around here,
Yeah.
we will touch on that a little bit here on our report.
Great.
Have a little bit of pictorial and video coverage as well.
Ooh,
there. So
aren't you something?
Yeah, busy weekend. Takes a team, and we got the total media team. We were so busy this weekend, and not just with sports, but with news as well on Saturday. So,
Okay.
We
What's
are out
going
there.
on?
We're totally into it here at Total
Totally.
Media. Right. Okay. And that's just not a sales pitch. That's the truth.
That is so true.
But I'll tell you what we're going to start with, Jennifer. We're going to start with an event that it kind of had 2 sides to it. But the serious side is why I'm putting it at the top of the news.
Okay.
It was called an Overdose Awareness Fair. And it was
Okay.
held at Vinton County High School. And that was on Saturday, and it was the Vinton County Health Department that put it together with, a lot of community support. The radio, by the way, was there to do a remote broadcast. Matt McKee was there, and Red Thompson was there. Red Thompson Jr. was there to provide some newspaper support. We're going to play this up in the next edition of the paper, and I'll
Okay.
tell you why. First of all, I think that most people who are connected at all with the system and even just connected with the community know that drug abuse and drug overdoses are a problem, and it's
It
maybe
is.
even getting worse, especially on the overdose side when we actually lose people.
Yeah.
All right. This is just coincidental, but the timing was such that we received information from some of the Vinton County officials that either 6 or 7 people died of drug overdoses in a 2 or 3 day period very recently.
Wow.
6
What?
or 7 overdose related deaths in a
Holy
period of 2
moly.
or 3 days. And so that's why you have an overdose awareness fair.
Wow.
And of course, they had some fun things in there to get people there, some
Mhm.
free food and entertainment and like that. But there was also, of course, this very serious message delivered. Among the speakers were Vinton County probate juvenile judge Bob Grillo, who of course deals with that problem on the juvenile side. You had MacArthur Police Chief Matt Kite, who deals with that on the law enforcement side. And then another speaker that we're going to hear from here in just a moment
Okay.
was Lily Jenkins. Lily Jenkins now works as a counselor, kind of with integrated services, I believe it is. And she has made it her mission to help others get over their addiction, recover addiction. The reason that she has so much currency is that she is a recovered addict herself.
Wow.
She was at the point where she felt like when she came out of high school, she had no hope or anything. She thought that she would probably die young because of drug addiction. She just felt she could not beat it, even though she tried to. she eventually did beat it, and now she is on a mission. And so what a powerful speaker to have on the program here.
Yes.
And Jeremiah is going to play a clip now of the message that Lily Jenkins brought to all those people who attended this overdose awareness fair.
And I just want to start out with a little bit of my story. I was born and raised in Vinton County, and of course, I didn't have a plan for my life, when I graduated high school. And so, as people tend to do, I fell into the wrong habits and vices, and so I thought there was something like deeply wrong with me, and that I was just kind of a morally defunct human being, and that I was just destined to live a life of addiction and dereliction and basically death, and I wanted to die. But, as addiction tends to do, I hit rock bottom in my life and was forced to go to inpatient drug and alcohol treatment in Portsmouth. And at the time, I wasn't convinced that I wanted to stop using drugs. I just thought that there was no other life for me, that's what I had been doing with most of my adult life. So I went to treatment with nothing. I had no home. I took my children to a treatment center where there were women and children there. And in that moment when I had nothing, I was just so relieved to be there, and something took hold. And I can't really explain it, but for the first time in my life, I felt like there was hope for me, and it was just a little spark of hope. And the longer I was there, and the more days that I was clean, and the more that I could separate myself from the people, places, and things, and substances, the more hope that I felt. And today, I get to come back to my community, and I'm so grateful for my community, because my community before knew me as an addict and a felon, and now I got to recover in my community. My community welcomed me back, and I get to be this changed person in my own community, helping others, and teaching people that there is hope, and teaching people what, not so much teaching people, I wouldn't say, but helping people find what works for them, and helping people find hope in their personal mode of recovery from addiction.
Wow.
Right.
That's
yeah.
powerful stuff.
Yeah, it certainly was. And when it comes from somebody who has been through it, and,
right.
What we all have to understand, who's been fortunate enough to stay away from drugs and the threat of addiction is, once somebody gets stuck in that, it's not like you just make a choice, like, you're a weak person or something like that. This is a chemical, physical thing.
It is.
That grabs you. Just like it's so tough for a smoker to quit.
Sure.
Why do you do that? When you might, get cancer or whatever.
Right. The only thing I can liken it to, Pete, is like, it's like a possession of your body. It's like
That's a good word to
you.
use. That's a good word to use.
Yeah.
If you heard Lily Jenkins there, she knew she was on a bad path, but she felt like she was doomed.
Yeah.
There was nothing that she could easily do because of that chemical addiction that she had, the habits, the people that I'm sure that were her friends and that were around her.
Correct.
The influences she had in her life. And, she had a support system that tried to save her, and eventually it did. And I think it's so great that after she went through that, it can't be very easy to talk about that and to expose yourself and what you went through to everybody like she just did there in that video and through that and before that group.
Proud of her, for sure.
Exactly. She is a very courageous person who has made a major triumph in her life by overcoming this. And the message is that you can do it. You can do it. people around you, the social service system, the criminal justice system, they have to be part of the solution.
That's right.
And those support systems are there. And, a lot of this is just, behind the curtain. People don't see it unless somehow they're personally involved in it or a family member or whatever. But Judge Grillo, when he talked, and remember, he's been around for a long time, Jackson County Jackson High School graduate, been in the court system, one of the longest serving probate juvenile judge in the state now at this point.
Yes.
He feels like this is the worst problem right now in our nation.
I would say it would.
And
would say a lot of judges.
Obviously, we are not sheltered here in these Appalachian hills.
Definitely
from
not.
That. So anyway, look for a big story in our Wednesday edition on this, and that will include comments from the people who spoke. And then Red will have follow-up coverage because, there were some fun things that went on there. It was a nice community event, too. Kind of a strange coming together, but, they wanted to make it that way, too, as well as delivering a message. And, if they just say they're going to have a public forum where there's going to be 3 or 4 speakers or whatever, how many people might have come out?
Right.
So
no, that was
kudos to the Vinton County Health Department and everybody who was willing to give up their time to participate in that.
Absolutely.
All right. Kind of like on a parallel path, we want to mention this is going on today here in Jackson. It's called Operation Street Smart Ohio. And the 3-county mental health board is involved in that, along with some local sponsors. That's the Gallia Jackson Meigs Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board is the full name. But also Warriors for Christ here in Jackson is hosting it. Holzer Health System is a participant and a sponsor. But it's going on from 9 a.m., so it's on its way now, until 1 p.m. at the Warriors for Christ, and the public is invited to go.
Oh, great.
But what it is held by the Ohio Crisis Intervention Team. They're also going to do similar events in Gallia County and Meigs County tomorrow. Both of those will be tomorrow. The program is designed to educate parents, teachers, social workers, members of law enforcement, and community partners on the current narcotics trends, terminology, paraphernalia, and concealment techniques. This training program includes examples of the current designer street drugs, such as bath salts, LSD, K2 spice, PCP, along with the so-called traditional drugs.
I don't know what half that stuff is.
Like marijuana, cocaine, crack, heroin, and methamphetamine. Okay. So, what it is, some of the professionals that have to deal with this, they may know some of that stuff.
Yes.
But this is kind of like education and training.
That's going to be
for the
eye-opening.
Professionals and anybody. I think I think the door will be open to anybody who has an interest in learning something about that. If there's a civic or community or personal angle there, that will go on from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. over at the Warriors for Christ, and that is over on Mound Street, just off Chillicothe Street. Mm-hmm. All right. Also this weekend, in a lighter vein, there was a couple events, and our own Jeremiah Shaver helped me cover these. He covered these 2 events. One was an event at at Manpower Park.
Yes.
Which was a kind of like a back to school thing where there was lots of social services. The Gallia Vinton ESC was a major player in that. The health department was there to do immunizations.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
It was called a Healthy Kickstart. If you drove by and you didn't know what was going on.
Oh, man.
Lots of tents there.
Tons of tents.
Right. They were ready for rain, which didn't come, thankfully.
Right.
But it was a big event. As I said, the Gallia Vinton ESC had planned a couple months for this. The radio was there as well. Porterhouse was there doing some coverage, and Jeremiah was as well. So, Jeremiah, if you have a video on what you prepared on that, let's see it and hear it.
Children and their parents gathered in Jackson's Manpower Park over the weekend on Saturday, August 20th for an event called Healthy Kickstart. It was a back-to-school community health day and immunization clinic with much more.
Hi, I'm Karen Bach, and I'm an administrative associate at the Gallia Vinton ESC. One of my roles at the Gallia Vinton ESC is that of family and community liaison. With that being said, this event, Healthy Kickstart, is a back-to-school event that helps provide our families with resources from different agencies. I'm going to name a couple, but there won't be all of them. So, such as Job and Family Services, they're one of our partners. The Jackson County Health Department we partnered with. We also have Jackson Vinton Community Action. We have Hopewell Integrated Services. Hi, and we have our kangaroo. And this is Kangaroo with his baby Joey. There we go. And he's kind of the symbol for Healthy Kickstart. So this is our first year here, and people are given a card, and they go to the different agencies to collect resources, and then they go get a prize for the kids. And this year we also have school supplies and backpacks for anybody that goes through all the stations. They also get free pizza, and they get a Kona ice. This is our first year. We're looking forward to it next year and hope that it'll be bigger. It will be this same weekend next year. It's like August 19th to 2023. We look forward to seeing you then.
Hi, I'm Tammy Osborne Smith. I'm Director of Jackson County Job and Family Services and the Ohio Means Job Center. I just want to say it's a great pleasure to be part of this event today. We're sponsoring in partnership with the Gallia-Vinton Educational Service Center as well as the Health Department. We have had an amazing turnout from our community here. We have kids of all ages and parents.
Hello, my name's Kara Dahl. I'm with the Jackson County Health Department. I am a harm reduction and tobacco cessation nurse. We felt it was important to partner with this event to bring awareness to vaccines and the importance of keeping our community healthy and engaging with the community and letting them know all the services that we provide at the health department.
Have you ever seen the Kona ice truck somewhere without several people in line?
No, people not piled around.
Right,
No.
and and when you have sunshine and 85 degrees, that doesn't hurt. But
what a great event!
Yeah, we had Tammy Osborne Smith there from JFS. I didn't mention them on the front end before we saw the video, but they were a major player in that too. And give that agency credit. They do so much work behind the scenes on the social services, but I think you've really seen a acceleration of the community outreach with what they do to try to deliver messages on the services they have and to also try to help people who they can help with the various services that they have. So once again, just like the overdose health awareness fair that they had up in Vinton County, kudos to everybody who was involved in making this happen. And Jeremiah put together a really professional video,
Yes,
which
good job,
we would
Jeremiah.
expect. And we'll have some newspaper coverage from that as well. So,
and we saw a kangaroo.
If you were at a kangaroo with child, with Joey. I think the Joey. Isn't that the word?
So yes.
All right. Okay. Well. Anyway, so if you went to the overdose awareness fair in Vinton County or the Healthy Kickstart in Jackson County, later on you could go to downtown Jackson.
That's right.
And then kick back with jazz and jambalaya.
All of it.
Right.
And it was fun.
Okay, I know you were around, right?
Yes,
for that?
was around for sure.
One of the participants through, of course, Sixth Sense.
Yep.
But the jazz and jambalaya, that was something new. I don't know whether it's an annual thing or it's just something they tried. But it was kind of like the Jackson Area Chamber of Commerce and the Marquet were kind of the partners in that, it seemed like to me. But Jeremiah Shaver was there. Did you have jambalaya, sir?
I did not.
Oh no!
It smelled really good.
It was.
When I finished up, we headed down to Portsmouth and went to the river for dinner Saturday. So I didn't want to fill.
You
up
want to save
save room for the.
Didn't
river,
want to eat
so.
2 suppers. I think
Didn't want to eat 2 suppers. Yes.
Okay, well, we'll give you a pass on that then.
There was a lot of
Did you have jambalaya?
I actually did not. I was running around all over the place. So, but I mean, people were really, really enjoying it. And they did a vegetarian one, which I thought was cool. Our own Cindy Stifler and Bob the Builder were there scooping up the jambalaya. It was really good. She made it. So,
and once again,
fantastic.
had a great a day for that weather-wise. You had some booths and exhibits
beautiful.
and vendors in the block on Broadway between Pearl and Main. They had that blocked off. If you wonder what was going on, that's jazz and jambalaya. And then in the alley by the Marquet, that was really where you were supposed to enter. Just a fun day. Give credit to the Chamber and Marquet Southern Hills Arts Council for getting together on that. And since Jeremiah was there, we also have a video to kind of depict what that event was all about.
That's right.
First time they've ever done it. Are they going to do it again, Jennifer? Did you hear?
I think it was pretty successful, so I'm assuming that it will continue on. But I have not gotten the
Okay, well, word. Whenever you have food, you've got a good shot at it.
I mean, yeah.
Right. I think the Ohio University Jazz Band was there. They were one of the big attractions. Well, go ahead, Jeremiah. Let's see it and hear it.
Over the weekend, a taste of New Orleans came to downtown Jackson as the Marquet Cultural Arts Center presented Jazz and Jambalaya. The event was held on Saturday, August 20th in the alley next to the Marquet.
Hello, Matt here, President of Southern Hills Arts Council at the Jazz and Jambalaya event here. This event was a collaboration between the Marquet and the Chamber of Commerce of Jackson. We've got the OU Faculty Jazz Band playing in the background, Cindy Stifler serving some jambalaya, and down on Broadway we've got a vendor fair that the Chamber of Commerce has put on for us, and all proceeds go back to the Marquet and Chamber of Commerce. We've got 6 Cents down at the end of our beer garden serving some of their brews. Great event, great people, great food.
It was super cute and fun, and want to give a big shout out to the Thirsty Truckster. As you saw, the little truck that was the beer was being poured out of. That's a new venture in town, and we'll have to do a little story about that, Pete, in the paper, because it is adorable.
It sounds interesting. Interesting.
Some local folks bought that, and you can rent it out for events and festivals and things like that to dispense your favorite beverage. Doesn't have to be beer. It could be, soda, water, lemonade, whatever you want. It's just super adorable. So
right. I tell you, it's great to see the downtown buzzing.
So yes, and not to cut you off, but that was one of the things that we were discussing. So Jamie and I had to go and come and go like 3 or 4 times. We were doing a bunch of other things, and so we walked out onto Main Street, and Jamie said, "Look at that." And I said, "I know." And there were just people walking up and down Main Street and smiling, and they were out and about and enjoying themselves, and, going into Michael's and, shopping. And I was like, oh, this is what this is supposed to be. I love it. It's so good. So those are those downtown events that get people out and about, and to see our cute little downtown, and just to enjoy and have some fun and walk around. It was perfect.
Right. Absolutely.
Loved it.
Right. It was a fun event, and hopefully, we'll be seeing that event and others like it in the future.
100%.
Chamber has been, really active here in the last year, trying to come up with some new things.
Yes. Really doing a lot.
Right, and there's no doubt that the Marquet, we said this from the time that it was reborn.
Yes.
It is so important to the revitalization of the downtown.
Yes.
It
So
being there,
gorgeous.
and when they have events like this, and it brings people downtown, it not only helps the Marquet, helps all those businesses downtown. It brings people by their doorstep and maybe into their shops and businesses and offices and like that.
That's right.
Very, very important. All right. Well, speaking of business, there was a very positive economic development story that broke last week. We made it our front page story in our Saturday paper, and that was the news that Plibrico is going to move into the vacant AP Green plant.
Okay.
Near Pyro.
Makes sense.
Near Pyro, there is the plant. It's kind
Yep.
of off the beaten track on Pyro Road, so some people, unless they happen to live there or travel through there or had some personal or workplace connection, you may not even know what it looks like. Well, there it is. That plant has been vacant for 3 or 4 years. It used to be the home of some pretty good blue-collar jobs
Very
for
good,
a
yeah.
number of years.
Yep.
And unfortunately, one of the new owners of AP Green, they made a business development decision that they were going to build a new plant in South Point, and this plant eventually closed.
Okay.
Wasn't a harmonious thing either, but it happened. And it's a good facility. It's a refractories plant, and Plibrico, which has a refractories plant of its own on State Route 140. It's actually over the county line. It has an Oak Hill address, but it's over the county line in Lawrence County.
Okay.
They are going to move into this larger facility.
Wonderful.
So it will maintain those jobs as well as add 4 new jobs.
Nice.
And let me tell you why it's important. Not only is it good for Plybrico and the fact that it maintains those jobs and will add a few as well, Plybrico facility, from what I understand, was not adequate anymore. And they were looking for a new place. And that new place didn't have to be Jackson County, by the way. Plybrico is headquartered in another state.
Oh, wow.
And
So-
they could have chosen other places to
Sure.
go than Jackson County or Oak Hill or whatever. And thanks to the efforts of the economic development professionals here, you've got the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership, you've got the regional arm of Jobs Ohio called Ohio SE, working on that. They work together. They got a $125,000 grant that will help with machinery, equipment, infrastructure, and relocation. We do not have a date when that move will take place, but it's a committed thing. It will happen. And so, anytime, not sure how many jobs there are at Plybrico now, but they will be maintained.
That's awesome.
And, there's just spin-off effects, good and bad, when, a company expands, comes, or leaves. It can work either way. So congratulations once again to everybody involved in that, and we will continue to watch that story. If you didn't see the paper, you still see it. It's out on the newsstands, probably at least through today. We also have it online as well. All right. Unfortunately, we have more bad news from the highways from Vinton County. We have
no.
another fatality that occurred on Wednesday.
Oh.
And this was a young person, again, who lost his life. This happened on State Route 93, just about 1 mile north of Vinton County in Hocking County. That's kind of like a lonely, curvy stretch of road that goes up from here to Logan. And Ethan Colfout, age 19, he was from MacArthur, had a MacArthur address. This happened Thursday, actually. I think I said Wednesday. It was Thursday at 5:45 a.m., early morning hours, probably a little dark then. He was heading northbound on Washington Township, just north of the Vinton County line, driving a pickup truck. Unfortunately, he drove off the right side of the road, attempted to re-enter the road and overcorrect. However, slid left of center off the left side of the road, struck a tree, which is never good with a fiberglass vehicle, and it came to a rest against the tree. He was not wearing a safety belt and was ejected. That may have contributed to fatality-related injuries. He was pronounced dead on arrival he was pronounced dead on arrival after they took him to the hospital by the Hocking County Coroner's Office.
So sad.
Very sad, and I believe that's the second one in a week that's occurred on State Route 93 north of MacArthur.
Yep. Be careful out there, folks.
Oh, exactly.
And put your seatbelt on.
Exactly. All right, we have the last Vinton County School Board meeting, Superintendent Rick Brooks. This happened to come, as a new school year was starting, but he reviewed some of the summer projects. That is, the summer is the so-called off-season for schools, and that's when a lot of the physical projects take place, where they are improving things. One of them was a re-roofing part of the district office there in MacArthur. That is the old Vinton County High School. The Rio Grande branch of the University of Rio Grande is located there. The district office is there. They may have some other things in there as well, but they put a new roof on part of it, and they may put a new roof on the other part of it later. That's yet to be decided. They did some HVAC work, which of course is very important in the guts of the buildings to improve things. But the thing probably that they did that most people will notice is they have a new floor in the Vinton County High School Gymnasium.
Yes,
there it is.
look at that.
Isn't that beautiful with the big VC right there in the center court there? Of course, that building was built in 2000, so that hardwood floor was there for over 20 years. So now they have a new hardwood floor there in the gymnasium. That, of course, is the home of the Vikings and the Lady Vikings. And Coach N.J. Kite, new coach for the boys, and his boys will enjoy being on that floor, as will Coach Brent Jones and the Lady Vikings. So that's one of the big improvements that occurred over the summer in the Vinton County School District. Okay, back down here in Jackson, on the labor front, we talked about a couple labor contracts that have been approved lately on the city side. A third labor contract was approved last week when the rank and file non-uniform workers of the city, that is not the police, not the supervisors, but everybody else that's unionized,
Okay.
the rank and file workers, I guess you could call them. That's not the police department, and most employees are in the union. Anyway, council at its last meeting 2 weeks ago from today, as a matter of fact, ratified a tentative contract that had been reached between the leadership of the union and the city negotiators. However, that contract had to not only be approved by council, it had to be approved by the rank and file. And the vote was not disclosed, but the union rep, who was the union president, did tell me that the union did ratify it. And so that's a new 3-year contract that will take effect September 1st, 2022 and run through August 31, 2025. So they got it done before the old contract ran out. It will provide pay increases, annual pay increases each year of 3%. And on the other side, the employees will now pay a larger share of their health insurance premium. That will go from 6% to 12%. So the 3% raise for each of the years.
That's a lot.
No, it can be a lot.
It can add up.
That is one thing that all the public employers, kind of look at, maybe even more than wages, the cost of health insurance, especially, if you're providing all of it, and so that percentage now will be up to 12% that the employees will pay. Still very nice fringe benefit to have 88% of your premium and then the coverage on top of that. So what that means is, with the ratification of this contract, that means that all 3 labor unions of the city of Jackson now have contracts.
Great.
That is the police department union, the supervisors union, and now the rank and file non-uniformed workers. All right, another good news story to tell you about. We'll head to the south end of the county. This is in Madison Township. Madison Township, of course, you got the village of Oak Hill on the east side. You have Madison Township. On the west side, you have Jefferson. Then Madison Township goes off to the east, a pretty big township. Well, they have a new township hall. They never really had their own digs, and now they do.
Oh,
If you look on the
cool.
right there, that is their new township building. They are very proud of it. They recently had an open house, and we'll be covering that in the paper. Red Thompson Jr. was there. And there on the left, you see the township officers who are so proud. From left to right, if you're looking at the picture, you have Township Trustee Greg Potter. You have the Fiscal Officer, Missy Strickland. You have Township Trustee Chris Walls. He is the president of the trustees, and the other trustee there on the far right is Dennis Evans. But this is a 40 by 100 square foot building, has 5 bay doors. It is the first building that the trustees ever had that they can call home.
Awesome.
They'll be able to have their trustee meetings there, maybe some public events. They probably, I'm guessing, have a meeting room in there for small events, at least, that have to do with township business. And the important thing is they have a place to put their equipment with shelter. Before, some of the township equipment was just parked in driveways and outside.
Yeah, that's not good for
And so,
equipment, especially with our winters.
The homes of trustees served as a place for some of the equipment, and they also used space in the Oak Hill Village Garage, which of course was not theirs. So anyway, we'll be hearing more about that in an article that will appear in the Telegram. All right, one of the issues that came out at the most recent meeting of the Wellston City Council is they were concerned about space running out at Ridgewood Cemetery. If you're from Jackson, you have Fairmont Cemetery. If you're from Wellston, you have Ridgewood Cemetery. There are 2 huge cemeteries that are city operated. And in Wellston, it's Ridgewood Cemetery. You get up to it there, on the east end of the city, high on the hill off A Street. And they were concerned that there were only 140 spots left for burials.
Oh,
and
wow.
you can see where, a cemetery that is your main cemetery in town, what are we going to do? Well, there was kind of like a records misconstruement, and they actually have more space than they did. So, if you had heard that was an issue, it's not so much an issue. It still is, but it's going to be on down the line that they have to worry more about it. As a matter of fact, he says that this instead of the city being out of burial space by 2024 or 25, which is what they were looking at, that's how they had projected it. Now it'll be 8 or 9 years down the road, but they still have to start thinking about that. They have some areas in the cemetery where there are graves around and there are blank spots. They've got to see if they can use those. If they're in the old records, if the spot was reserved and just wasn't used, can it be used again and like that? Because that could add some possible spots as well.
Okay.
Not exactly sure how that'll work, but they're going to check the records to try to use all available spaces there. We also want to congratulate Walter Bub Norris, well-known Wellston resident. He will be the new city councilman, at-large city councilman in Wellston. And Bub, as we know him best, was one of several people who was interested in the appointment to an open seat on Wellston City Council that was created by Fred Doobie's move from at-large councilman to third ward councilman. Doobie took the position of Rick Hudson, who was the third ward councilman, who became the council president when the other council president left. So Norris will be able to take office after he gets some paperwork into the Board of Elections, and he should be serving at the next meeting. He'll be sworn in and all, but he was there at the meeting. He was one of the ones who applied for the position, and it was a vote of council. It was close. It was 3-2, but the vote was in favor of Norris, and he will be a Wellston City Councilman, well known, of course, in Wellston. He broadcasts some ball games there. He is a real estate salesman, and he is a former school board member.
Yes.
So congratulations to Bub Norris. Okay, we want to tell you about another thing that is going on that if you can take advantage of it, if you're a nonprofit group or project that needs some funding, think about possibly applying to the Jackson County Community Foundation for funding. The Jackson County Community Foundation has not been around for very long, 3 or 4 years, but it is an arm of the Foundation for Appalachia, Ohio. And through the private sector, they are able to do some grant funding. They did several grants last year. Here is the local group that is on the local Jackson County Community Foundation board. And I'm going to name these people because they donate their time for a very good cause. They're in front. You have our own John Pelletier from Wellston. You've got Carol Wright, then Kyle Exline, and John Jones. They're in the back row. That is Foundation of Appalachian Ohio Director of Outreach Services, Sherry Simon. She was here at the Parks Edge Event Center for a planning meeting just last week. That's where we took this picture. Then you have Susan Stockmeister, Sandy Borden, Melissa Ball, and Elizabeth Billman, all very good people that are willing to donate their time to look at these applications that may come in for funding and decide, along with the Foundation of Appalachia, Ohio, how foundation money may be used for good causes in Jackson County. Projects should increase the quality of life, create access to opportunities, or implement a solution to a need in Jackson County. That's how they define it. Awards typically range from $500 to $4,500, although requests above this range may be considered based on the potential impact. You have until September the 27th to apply. Okay. Once again, this is through nonprofit and public organizations through projects that serve or benefit Jackson County. Pretty broad. So this is an opportunity to get some funding. If you want additional information, you can contact any of those board members, because they're all local people, or you can go to the website, appalachianohio.org/Jackson, and read all about the program and how you can apply. Once again, you have to do that. The funding cycle is now open. I think it started August 16th, and it will close on September 27th, and then they will make their decisions. For instance, last year, they did a makerspace at the Jackson City Library. This was an area for patrons to create items and build curiosity in science and engineering.
Cool.
Then you had the Hillcrest Skate Park, $4,633 to do an improvement at the skate park. And I remember that grant was applied for. The city of Jackson kind of worked on applying for that grant. And it was something they couldn't spend money on themselves, but if they could get a grant, they could do this. And it was so cute because a couple of sixth graders, I believe, went to a
they
city.
spearheaded
They went
this
to a city
thing.
council meeting and says, "Hey, listen, we'd really like to have this at the skate park."
Like, it's
and the city
there, we
officials
wanna-
were so impressed by their enterprise that they worked to get them a grant. And so the
So
last thing I
cute.
knew, that improvement had not been made yet, but the money is there and it will be done. And then there was $4,633 to the city of Wellston for a downtown outdoor accessories project to purchase benches, picnic tables, outdoor message centers, and more for the downtown historic district that they're trying to do so much for through the Main Street organization.
Yes.
And of course, we have that big improvement project at the depot
Yes.
that is going on right now. Speaking of improvement projects, out at Lake Alma State Park, Jennifer, they have a new nature center. It opened on Saturday. There it is right there.
Cool.
And it is located by the campground's playground area. And I did not know this myself. They didn't really put out a news release on it, but I just kind of picked up on it off the Lake Alma Facebook page. Not the Friends of Lake Alma Facebook page. It has a lot of information. But the Lake Alma State Park Facebook page, they also have a Facebook page. They have a naturalist who at least works part of the time there. And they're doing all sorts of nice things. They have done all sorts of nice things this summer that are nature oriented. They do a lot at Lake Hope State Park, which is of course larger there, and they have more visitors there, being with the lodge and all the cabins and the lodging that they have up there. But now they're doing naturalist work as well at Lake Alma as well. History, culture, nature, hiking, all those things. So you might want to check with the Lake Alma Park office out there. Check their Facebook page. We'll try to keep up
That's
with what
awesome.
we can on the paper and the radio with what they're doing. But they're doing some really neat things there. You don't have to travel all the way up to the Hocking Hills or whatever to have a really nice thing. Just, of course, Lake Alma State Park located actually in Vinton County, but we kind of considered
strangely enough,
we kind of considered a Wellston thing.
it's
'cause
really weird.
Just a couple miles down State Route 349 from Wellston. All right. Well, we wanted to show you this picture because it was so cute. We mentioned the dog swim at Hillcrest.
Yes,
Pool
it
and
was
Park.
so fun.
Right. I know you were there. Here's a picture that Jeremiah took of a couple of the dogs that were having a great time there. It did rain a little bit, but you know what? If it's going to rain at a dog
Why
swim,
not?
is it really going to ruin anything?
That's
You're going
right.
to get wet anyway. So
good.
So we'll be running that picture in the paper as well.
That's Marley's Aunt Kelsey, by the way.
Oh, it is.
Kelsey
Okay.
is
okay.
Marley's caretaker when Mommy and Daddy go away. So Kelsey has been. She
All
and
right.
Marley are good
I believe
buddies.
Kelsey's dog is called Bear.
Bear and Odin.
Bear and Odin.
Yes,
All right.
and
Well,
Bear was so funny because he came in, and in that splash pad, it has the jets that shoot up, and he came in and he stood there, and they hadn't turned it on yet, and he was barking at it, and then they turned it on, and he stood there and he played and he barked in it. He was obsessed with it. It was so cute.
The times I've gone to
Loved
that dog
it.
swim, to cover it like Jeremiah did this year, it's fun to watch, even if you don't have a dog. I only went because of news coverage and taking a picture or two.
Yes.
But it is a fun thing to watch.
It is.
And the dogs are just hilarious.
They have so much fun.
They do.
They just and they always find the rando mud puddle that's out there, and they just roll and just like whatever, just go for it. But they
Right.
look so happy.
I would say maybe 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6 dogs have a ball, and that sixth dog is not so sure they want to go in the pool, and that's fun seeing their owners try to convince them that this can be a fun thing.
That's right. That was Marley. She's like the only lab I know that doesn't swim. She likes the water okay, but she just doesn't swim. But she's just a little older now. So.
No, I understand. Everybody knows what they like and what they don't like, including the doggies.
That's right.
All right. Well, I tell you what, this is going to be a big birthday celebration this year for Ohio Valley Bank. They are having their 150th anniversary.
Wow.
I think they're going to have some more mainline events a little later, but they are doing things now acknowledging that big anniversary year. Of course, Ohio Valley Bank, based in Gallipolis, goes back to 1872, of course. They do have a branch bank here in Jackson. There on Main Street. Joe Wyant, assistant vice president, is the resident manager. But anyway, they did a 150th anniversary Kona Ice Day there on a recent Friday, and that is Joe Wyant getting a Kona Ice. He was in line there at Kona Ice, and they did some giveaways. They had some nice traveling cups there. Drinking cups that they gave away. We have some of them here. I got one. Jeremiah brought me back one.
Cool.
Because he covered this. And once again, we want to acknowledge that this is the 150th year for Ohio Valley Bank.
That's amazing.
They have that Community First program where they allow their employees to take paid time off to do community service. Now, isn't that nice? You don't have to take a vacation day to do that. They will still pay you.
Oh, wow.
And for instance, I know, unless that program has changed or whatever, I know, for instance, Joe Wyant, who's on the Apple Festival committee.
Right on.
He works at the Apple Festival that week and doesn't even have to take vacation.
It's amazing.
So congratulations to Ohio Valley Bank on their 150th year. Okay, another very important thing that's happened, it's a visual thing. If you've driven down East Broadway Street, the food pantry and clothesline, now officially called the Jackson Food Program.
Yes.
They have a new
I
sign.
saw
Look at that
that.
beautiful sign there.
Yep.
Jackson Food Program, and they say AKA Food Pantry because that's what people still call it. But it's located at 323 East Broadway Street, as the big sign said.
Yep.
And Nancy Bazin, who is the executive manager, she wanted us to run this picture in the paper to show that sign and also to thank the people that made it possible. She wanted to give her sincere thanks to our own Nia Henry and also Zip Printing. Nia Henry made a nice donation. Zip Printing, I think, did the sign work there, the signage. And Bob Kincaid, the tree trimmer, did the work putting it up.
Oh, cool.
So she
Thank you.
wanted to thank everybody who had a hand in there and let the public know also that the sign is there. Now, the Jackson Food Program and Clothesline, which I think is all food now, is open and available for those who have income within the government guidelines. They can receive food once a month or every 31 or more days. Those interested must bring current mail with an envelope postmarked within the past 30 days with the names, birth dates of all household members, and a current unexpired Ohio driver's license or Ohio-issued identification. They're not trying to make it hard on you. These are federal guidelines to make sure that the program is not abused.
Yep.
And as we know right now, there's because of supply things and costs and like that there is an issue about having enough at all these food banks and so forth. So not sure how our local food program is doing there, but it is there and has been there. And now they have a brand new sign out there to make sure people know where they
Drive
are.
by it all the time.
All right. Well, speaking of downtown Jackson, we had kind of a business transaction that's worth noting. We're going to have this in the paper too. Apple City Artisans, Kelly Logan there, right across from the Marquee, kind of.
Right.
There on East Main Street. They purchased pine wood pottery from Shelley Brown.
Yeah.
And this is Kelly Logan with their pine wood pottery section that they have moved into their building there on East Main Street across from the Marquee. It's 276 East Main Street.
Okay.
And in addition to the Apple City Artisans, they now have pine wood pottery. Kelly was an admirer of what Shelley had done with pine wood pottery. And when she learned that it was available for purchase, she wanted to take advantage of that, and now that's part of Apple City Artisans. I believe officially it's both businesses in one place.
Yes,
they still use both names, and certainly congratulations for Shelley for what she did to get that business off the ground and have it running. It was in another building on East Main Street next to Michael's, I think, right downtown there. And I know that Shelley hated to give it up, but she appreciates all the support that she had. And I think she's very glad that Kelly was willing to accept the baton from her and keep this fun business going, a different sort of participation business where kids can kids can learn some crafts, have the joy of creating something, and maybe do things together with other kids and as a family.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Speaking of the Marquee, they're not going to rest on their laurels in this jazz and jambalaya thing.
One to the next.
They are going to do an Evening with the Arts thing
Yes.
next Saturday. And Jennifer, when you're an old newspaper editor and a middle-aged horse queen, was I allowed to say that?
Okay, I'll take it.
All
Wow.
right. I probably shouldn't have said that because you look at you and somebody probably doesn't think middle-aged.
Oh, now he's saving himself.
No,
That's
but
okay,
it's the truth. I mean, pictures don't lie. Television doesn't lie, do they? We don't do any makeup or anything when we come
No, we
on
do
there.
not.
But
Yes.
anyway, the point is, Evening with the Arts used to be a big social and charitable event.
Yes.
That was such a big thing during the fundraising stage when the Marquet was
Huge.
when Barbara Summers and the Southern Hills Arts Council was raising the money to renovate the Marquet Cultural Arts Center. So it's kind of transformed a little bit. And once again, the Southern Hills Arts Council has come up with a new idea on how to do it this year. But it's going to run a good part of the day this Saturday, August the 27th. They're going to have a series of art auctions is going to be part of it. They'll raise money that way.
Okay.
They're also going to have entertainment, Colby Likens at 3 o'clock, Paul Brown and his hilarious cowboy poetry at 4.
Yes.
He's resurrecting his old talents. There's going to be the Apple City Players Comedy Hour. I bet you that Cynthia Stifler will have something to do with that at 5 p.m. There's going to be the Gillums and Alicia Shepard at 6 p.m. Then there's going to be the main art auction with Seth Michael at 7:30. And then there's going to be a final set at 9 o'clock. I'm not sure actually who might perform there, but I'm sure that's planned. The price of admission, I'm not sure what the price of admission is, by the way, but you will get a brat or a chicken sandwich and a bag of chips. And also available for purchase will be 6 cents and their craft beer and the treatery with a dessert bar.
Nice.
You will be there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, very good. And the art auction will have art from local artists, including Megan Peters, Debbie Shoemate, Bob Eisenagel, Ethan Michael, Matthew Wilson, the Shack president himself, Vivian Ripley, Trevin Wyatt, and Paul Brown. And those people are all very talented.
Absolutely.
And every cent that they make will go to support the Southern Hills Arts Council and the Marquet and all the good things that they do there. Because we got to remember, we got the Marquet, but it's not going to run by itself. It runs on money.
You got it.
I don't think we have. Do we have any paid employees at the Marquet right now?
I don't.
Maybe in the box office. I'm not sure. Part time.
I don't.
But
not that I'm aware of.
basically, you've got volunteers
Yes.
doing all this, and it just doesn't happen.
No.
These events, and this is a way that you can support it by attending Evening with the Arts. Once again, it will start at 3 p.m. and go deep into the evening there at 269 East Main Street in downtown Jackson. A lot of our local librarians, Jennifer, had the chance to see, if not meet, Dolly Parton at a Imagination Library program at the state level. The governor and his wife,
So
who have been
jealous.
so big in developing and expanding the Imagination Library, which encourages kids to read
Yes.
all throughout the state at that preschool level. They all had a chance to go up there, these librarians did. Roger Donaldson was there. I know Diane Johnston with the Herbert Westcott Memorial Library was there. Maybe there were representatives from Wellston and Oak Hill as well. I don't know that. But I know that Roger was there, and we'll have a story on Roger being
He's
up there.
already got an earful from me that I didn't get to go, and he did.
Right.
I love Dolly
I don't think he
much.
posed a picture with Dolly Parton. It didn't get that good.
He said he
But
was very close, but didn't, get to meet her or anything.
Right. And by the way, speaking of Roger, he is going to start a monthly column in the Telegram.
Great.
That will be debuting very soon in the next 2 or 3 papers, maybe even on Wednesday. We'll see. I've already got the copy. Did a great job. What he did in that column was, I learned things, and I'm like the old editor that's been around for a long time. All the things the library does that isn't books that you may not realize. I know we know
Wonderful.
some things, but I bet you there are things that he talks about in this column that even you don't know.
I'd say you're exactly right on that.
All right. Okay. We've got all kinds of forests around here,
Yes.
Jennifer. State forests and national forests. The Wayne National Forest is to the south. But we have the Richland State Forest in Jackson County and Vinton County. We have the big Zaleski State Forest in Vinton County. Well, ODNR and its Division of Forestry are going to have open house events throughout the state, and one of them will be in Chillicothe this Wednesday, August 24th. This is a chance to learn more about the state forest, what you can do in the state forest, how they manage the state forest, and you can tell them how you think they ought to manage the state forest.
Really?
This is your
Okay.
opportunity for feedback and comments and to learn some things. But the open house here in southeastern Ohio won't be very far away. It will be at the Southern District Chillicothe headquarters, which is on Allen Avenue in Chillicothe. And that will be from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. this Wednesday,
Nice.
August the 24th. You can also go to the ODNR Division of Forestry webpage and submit comments and input that way if you can't make it or you want to learn more. Okay, we've come to Friday night football time.
Woohoo!
All right, we had 3 games involving our local teams over the weekend.
Yep.
The Jackson Ironmen went up to Logan. The Oak Hill Oaks hosted Wellston in an intra-county rivalry, and the Vinton County Vikings went to Unioto. We will start off with the intra-county game. This was a game, kind of 2 young programs, 2 new coaches, and so it was going to be interesting no matter what.
Yes, for sure.
And the host, Oak Hill Oaks, got the best of it. They defeated the Wellston Golden Rockets 27-0. This was the debut of new coach Tyler Kratzenberg. Todd
Who
Compson,
hasn't been there very long.
No, Todd Compson, our sports editor, was down there, and so was Red Thompson Jr. And Red Thompson got some photos and a nice video clip of a near touchdown, and we're going to see that right now. And it is posted on our Facebook page, by the way. It looked like it to me, but, that's what they called. I think Oak Hill scored right after that.
Gotcha.
But it was a game that was dominated by Oak Hill. They scored on both the ground and through the air, and their defense kept Wellston from having a first down until the 4th quarter.
Whoa.
That is quite a defensive
That's
performance.
something.
Of course, both teams will be at it again on Friday. Oak Hill is hosting Piketon, and Wellston is hosting Fairland. All right, we go up north on State Route 93 to Logan. That's where the Ironmen opened their season,
Yes, they
and
did.
it was successful. They defeated the Logan Chieftains 35-8.
Woohoo!
And that is Jackson senior quarterback Jacob Winters. He's holding the ball aloft because he has just scored on a 35-yard touchdown scramble.
Oh, wow.
The Ironmen had the 2-minute offense going. They were running out of time. They were already up 21-0. They were trying to score before the buzzer went off. And on one of the last plays, Jacob went back to pass, didn't see anybody, and he did exactly what the coach said. Don't force a bad throw. Get what you can running the ball.
Sure.
So you think he's going to run, get out of bounds, and have one more play? Well, he kept going and going, and he scored a touchdown on that play. He ran for 58 yards and a touchdown overall. He threw for 234 yards
You're
and 2
kidding.
touchdowns.
Whoa.
And junior running back Cade Wolford, talk about a debut for him. 178 yards receiving on 3 receptions, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 111 yards on only 8 carries, and ran for 69 yards on one. He had 3 long breakaway touchdowns to help the Ironmen off to a big lead. The second half, not much happened, but by then the game was over. Ironmen win 35-8. And let me tell you, Jennifer, this Friday will be a big game at Jackson. The Ironton Fighting Tigers
Oh,
come to
my
town.
goodness.
We remember last year's game
Yes.
where Jackson had scored a touchdown at the end of the game with, 6 seconds on the clock
Yes.
to win, right? 10-7.
Yes. Oh, we got it.
Although the guy goes through a touchdown on the kickoff return, all the laterals and all. Talk about broken hearts. Ironton wins 13-10 in a game that Jackson had in its grasp.
Yes.
So
they did.
a lot of motivation there. Ironton is probably considered the top program in southeastern Ohio
Yes.
overall. They you got to give it to them. They've been to the state tournament a number of times. Then they fell off a little bit. They were just good instead of great, but now they're great again. They ended up being beat in the regional final last year by Wheelersburg. That was a little bit of an upset. They beat Wheelersburg last week in the opener. That was a big game too, 12-3.
Yep.
They may be, and I say maybe because Jackson's schedule is tough. They may be, at least on paper, the best team Jackson will play this year.
Okay.
And so the Ironmen will get them at home this time. So
Well, that's good.
we will see what happens. Then up at Vinton County, or up at Unioto in Ross County, the Vikings, who hoped to have a really good season, went over to Unioto and were defeated 21-6. The Shermans kept the Vikings from getting their ground game going. Vikings did not score until the last couple minutes of the game, so a disappointing loss to Vinton County, but it's a long season. They are highly hopeful of contending for a title in the TVC Ohio, and they will be back in action on Friday as well. And remember, every game will be on the air on the Total Media radio stations.
You got it.
Our broadcasters were all working last weekend except for Chris O'Boyle. We had Wellston at Oak Hill, so he got last Friday off, him and Matt Porter, but everybody will be working this Friday. All games are on Friday. I believe they all start at 7 o'clock. So you definitely want to tune in. And remember, you don't have to plug the radio into the wall. You've got the app. You can get the stream off your phone, off a computer or whatever.
Tell Alexa to play it. Does she play it?
I think if you tell her to, she might. I never have much luck with her. She doesn't do what I say. But anyway.
I bet she listens to Pam.
Yeah, well, she might.
Yeah.
But anyway, the fall sports season is underway, not just football, and we're covering all that. I think that all the boys, and I say the boys, and talk about the sports boys, they will be off covering opening volleyball games tonight.
There you go.
But anyway, it's
going on.
It's a busy place, and we want to salute JJ Hell and these radio guys. They coordinated all the sports coverage, of course, and then we had these 2 remotes going on the same time on Saturday.
Yes.
At Manpower Park, the Healthy Kickstart, and then, of course, the overdose awareness fair up at MacArthur.
Mm-hmm.
So JJ Hell and the group, it's really radio on the go.
There you go.
As they say. So
That's right.
Congratulations to them. All right.
Woo!
It's 10:01. Can we quit?
We can quit now, Pete.
All right. Well, good.
And then you got to go back to work.
I got to go back to work to get all this stuff in black and white in print now. That's the next phase.
Well, thank you for all of the hard work that you and the entire crew here do in reporting and covering all of the events in our area, because you all do a fantastic job.
Well, we love doing it. I feel blessed to be out there and have the chance to do that. And, like I say, when you're in a position like as we are, we see all the things that happen. We feel an obligation to report the good and the bad, but there are a lot of positive things. And, I know I run this in the ground, but I'm going to say it again. If you think nothing goes on in Jackson County and Vinton County, you're not looking.
You're not looking.
You're not
That's
looking,
right.
and you're certainly not checking out the paper or social media or wherever you get your information.
You got it.
It is out there.
Lots going. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending your morning with us. Thank you, Jeremiah, over there, for not only pushing all the right buttons, but also for doing some of those videos and reports there from all of the events that happened over the weekend. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, Pete Wilson.
I will do that.
All right. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.